Hey followers, I'm Stefan and it's time for another Rideshare Reflection. Hey you guys, how's everybody doing in the new year so far? Hopefully good. Today I want to talk about some news that I got that made me feel good, although it's not good news. And it made me feel satisfied, let's say. But before I get into telling you what that news is, let's rewind it back a little bit and talk about something that I have yet to bring up, and that is celebrities. I have met many celebrities. Everybody from local celebrities here in the DC area to people you've seen in movies and on talk shows. One day I was out at Dulles Airport, and here in the DC area we have 3 airports: BWI, Baltimore Washington Airport, which is about halfway between Baltimore and Washington. We have Reagan Airport, which is the closest to the city, but Reagan is only a national airport. It doesn't do, I think it goes to Canada, I think the United States, Canada, I think it's got some flights to Mexico. And then we have Dulles Airport, which is out in Virginia and takes all the fancy airlines, all the huge planes, all that kind of stuff. So one day I was out at Dulles Airport, had just dropped somebody off, and I immediately got a call to pick somebody up. So most airports have that little roundabout. I left, came right back around and picked the person up. Pull up on the person, the thing on the account says X. So I pull up on the person, young black gentleman with a young beautiful lady with them, dressed the way kids dress these days. And so I pull up on them. They had very little luggage, and so we pull off, and he engages me. I usually let the person start talking first, or I may ask 1 or 2 questions to see if they want to talk, because believe it or not, that's listed as one of the things that customers love best about Uber and Lyft over a taxi. So he and I started talking, and then I found out that he is, he said, a famous rapper. I don't know about you guys, but these days there is a different definition of what famous is than, when we were young. These days, as a rapper or any other kind of fame, you have to develop an online presence first, and then you can get the, the kind of fame that I'm familiar with. So he told me he's a rapper, and I said to him, I said, "Oh, really? What's your name?" So I can tell people. So I said to him, "Oh, really? What's your name?" Then I can say I met you. I said that kind of as a joke, but I was looking for him to answer, and he said X, just like it was on his account. So I said, okay, X, all right. Maybe he might blow up, maybe not. And he's a very nice kid. And this job has taught me that absolutely you cannot judge a book by the cover. You cannot judge a book by the cover. I'll say it again. So anyway, I said that to let you know that he was a please and thank you kid. He was very well spoken. He was courteous. So we talked quite a bit. He had never been to DC before, and so I was telling him about DC. So later on, when I got home, I got to thinking about the different rides I took that day and kind of recapping everything in my mind. And I said, let me look this guy up. You know what I mean? So I looked up X and saw nothing. Then I put up and coming rapper X, and there came his face. And his name is XXX Tentacion. Some people call him Triple X. Some people just call him X. Some people call him X10. It didn't surprise me because the kid had a presence about him. I'm not going to lie. You know how you can tell you're around somebody who's going to be something or who's going to do big things? He had that aura. He had that charisma. So about a year after all this happened, I was on my Facebook feed one day. And you know how the phones and the computers work these days? If you look something up, then all of a sudden you start seeing it on your feed. You start seeing it, offering prices for you to buy it. And so I was on my Facebook feed that day, and I see a headline that said, rapper Extension murdered. I felt really bad. because I feel like he was doing it the right way. He was polite. He was all those things. So what had occurred was he wasn't doing anything bad. He was at a motorcycle shop buying some accessories for some bikes he already owned, and it's called Riva Motorsports. And there were 4 boys who were out robbing people. They actually went and rented a car, and they had masks in the car. They had guns in the car. So they were going to go out that night robbing people. That was already planned. And one of the boys saw X go into the shop. And he said to the other guys, "Hey, yo, I think that was X." And he went into the motorcycle shop and verified that it was him. And also he had seen him get out of a very expensive car. So that's how he knew it. So they decided to rob him. And in the process, killed him, shot him. They shot him right in the face, as a matter of fact. And I felt really, really bad about that. Because again, I felt like he was doing it the right way. I felt like he was a decent kid. And he got killed when he wasn't doing anything wrong. He wasn't into any gangster shit, any of that shit. At least not on that day. So I looked into the case. Come to find out, it was 4 guys that did it. Like I said, they were out to rob people that day. And, you know, mourned it and it just went on. Because, you know, shit like that just happens these days. So today, I found out that those 4 boys who robbed them got extensive jail sentences. And again, that's not good news to me, but that's satisfying news, because you can't just be out there, you know, robbing people and taking what people work hard for and killing them in the process. So there were 4 guys. One guy turned state's witness and helped them to help the police and, you know, prosecutor to get the other 3 guys. Not only did he help in that case, he helped in another case. And so he ended up with only 8 years in prison. The other guys, they really socked it to him. Life sentences, all kind of stuff. And the one who actually pulled the trigger, whose name is Michael Boatwright, he got 2 life terms without the possibility of parole. And he got another 30 years stacked on top of that, and another 15 years stacked on top of that. And his sentences run consecutively, which means there's absolutely no way that he's going to get out of prison. So that made me feel satisfied. He was a good kid. The day after he died, Taylor Swift's song called "Look What You Made Me Do" set a record for sales, because that became kind of like the theme song for his, you know, death. And he had a very big funeral in Los Angeles, which a lot of stars who you would know was at one, including Erykah Badu was at it. So then after that one in California, they had another one in Florida, which mostly was attended by, you know, family and close friends. But, you know, again, it's nothing new. You know, same old story, to fight for love and glory. Sometimes the best people die young. And the people who are out there doing terrible things to people, they live to be 100 years old. This is not by any means new information. In fact, these boys received their sentences in August, I believe. So it's a couple months old. You know, it's about a good 5 months old, this information, but I just found out about it today. And it made me, again, satisfied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking about some of the celebrities I've met. I think I'm going to give each one of them their own post, because every story is unique. You know, how I picked them up, how I realized who they were, how they handled themselves, because they weren't all nice, and, you know, just how the ride went. All right, I'll do that. So I'll see you guys next time, hopefully with a happier story. And I think I'm going to start getting into some of my funny stories now. I got a ton of funny stories. I think I'm going to start getting into those, because, you know, some of these ones that I've posted so far have been a little heavy. And it's time to have some fun. But anyway, see you next time.